And welcome to another edition of Ducks and Sports. As this time we preview Week 14 of the NFL. Should be interesting because now we're officially 3/4 of the way through the NFL season, which means playoffs are right around the corner. And this is when teams really have to start putting runs together and really start putting wins together, as I said, to make the playoffs, as a lot of teams are on the bubble and a lot of teams still have a legitimate shot to make the playoffs. To the last 4 weeks of the season should be an interesting one. We'll start with the Monday nighter this week as the Houston Texans travel to New England to take on the New England Patriots. Start with the Texans. For a team that's 12-1, they're getting their fair shake, but not maybe getting the attention as they should as the best team in the AFC. As a lot of people say Baltimore is better, a lot of people say New England's better. I disagree. I think Houston is the best team in the AFC. And we'll see what happens this game because this will be a good test for both teams. See where they measure up. But in Houston, man, what isn't going right this year for Houston? I mean, they got the running game going, they got the passing game going, and their defense, one of the best defenses in the league. Houston's slowly turning to an elite franchise in the NFL. Went to playoffs first time last year, even won a playoff game last year, so that was big for them. And I really think Houston is, as I said, the best team in the AFC. I think they will prove it on Monday night that they are the better team than New England. And when you got Matt Schaub and Foster and Andre Johnson, all these weapons in Houston, it's going to be tough for a team in New England who, let's be honest, New England, are they a good team? Of course, New England is a good team. Are they a great team? I don't know about that one because New England, very, very good team. I mean, you got Tom Brady having another great year. And then you got, and they started to run the ball this year a little bit. And their passing game is, of course, of what it is with Tom Brady. But this team's still weakness is their defense. They have a good defensive line. But besides that, not much there in the back seven. Will be questionable. And this week, you're going to need their defense to show up this week as they've got, as I said in Houston, so many weapons. Andre Johnson, Foster, Matt Schaub, so many great weapons, and I think it's going to be tough to stop. That's why I like Houston this week. I think Houston, a little on the radar for a 12-1 team, and I think the Houston Texans come to play this week and show that they are a Super Bowl caliber team and show they are one of the best teams, if not the best team, in the AFC. Moving on, our next matchup is the Sunday nighter. Detroit travels to Green Bay to take on the Packers. Should be an interesting one. Let's start with Detroit. How many games has Detroit left on the field this year? I mean, again, last week, another game where they should have won but didn't win. I mean, that comeback by the Colts, basically the Lions let the Colts win that game. They came back Colts, and it's just been a disappointing year all over in Detroit, and they have to really get it going now because are they going to make the playoffs? Probably not. Probably playoffs too far out of the reach now. And just a disappointing year. Matthew Stafford's had a great year, leading the league in passing yards, but when he has to come with that big throw and the big drive, he just can't get it done. It seems like he did a lot last year. And Calvin Johnson in and out of the lineup this year, not that rock he's usually been the last couple of years, and that's affected their game. And it's pretty clear this team in the draft will have to trust their defense because this defense is not good. Got a great front four, but besides that, not really much there. They'll have to really address their secondary in the draft. And for Detroit, though, they can still play spoiler, so they can still have maybe stop Green Bay or Chicago from getting in the playoffs, or maybe forcing one of them not to win the North, so it should be interesting there. But they've got their hands full this week because they're playing a Green Bay team who, seeing the last few weeks, have been playing pissed off, especially last week, played pissed off, as a lot of people say they're not as good as they used to be a couple years ago, even last year. But Green Bay is still a great, great team. And I really think Aaron Rodgers is going to get it going. And when they get in the playoffs, I think there's no team in the NFC that's going to want to play this team. And that's why this week I like the Green Bay Packers to beat the Detroit Lions. And our other match we're going to talk about, the New Orleans Saints traveling to MetLife Stadium to take on the New York Giants. Saints last week's loss to Atlanta was probably the final nail in the coffin for the playoffs hopes, as I do not think the Saints will make the playoffs now, but I will give the Saints credit. When they're 0-4, it's easy for a team that's 0-4 just to quit on the season and just give up. But this team didn't do that. They kept fighting every week, fighting, and they scratched and claw all the way to a shot at the playoffs this year. But it was pretty unrealistic they were going to make the playoffs after that 0-4 start, as they pretty much would have to win the rest of their games. Of course, losing to Atlanta last week, huge loss. And like I said, give them credit, New Orleans, but this week will be interesting because they're playing another team who maybe now has to fight and claw to get to the playoffs like they do every year, the New York Giants. I was losing last week to Washington. A lot of holes were shown in the Giants game. Maybe they're not as good as they were last year. There seems to be a little holes there on their defense. And Eli Manning's a good quarterback. No way, he's a clutch quarterback, no doubt. But it just seems the last few weeks, they just hasn't been clicking. Same with the same Giants team. They're losing, 3 to 4 games. Nothing seems to be working right now for the Giants. But I just have a funny feeling at home against a team that's basically done, but will not give up. We'll keep fighting in the Saints. But I think the Giants will win this game because they have to win this game. I mean, realistically, for the Giants to make the playoffs, they're going to have to go 4-0 down the stretch. Because Washington has the weaker schedule, and that's pretty much who they're fighting for right now in the East to make the playoffs. So I really think the Giants come away in this one. I think Eli has a good game, and I think their defense will time some things up and be very good on Sunday. I think the New York Giants beat the New Orleans Saints. All right, our rest of the matchups of the week. Denver at Oakland. I will take Denver. St. Louis at Buffalo. At home in Buffalo, the Crazies. I will take Buffalo. Atlanta at Carolina. I will take Atlanta, but it could be a trap game for Atlanta as they have the New York Giants next week, so they might be looking to avenge that playoff loss. So could be a trap game, but I think Atlanta still gets it done. Dallas at Cincinnati. I'll take Cincinnati. Kansas City at Cleveland. I will take Cleveland. Tennessee at the Colts. I will take the Colts in this one. The Jets at Jacksonville. Mark Sanchez, of course, got benched last week, but will get the start this week as announced this morning. But I will still take the New York Jets. Chicago at Minnesota. I will take the Chicago Bears. San Diego at Pittsburgh. I will take Pittsburgh. Philadelphia is just quitting the season, and it's kind of embarrassing, and they traveled to Tampa Bay, who Tampa Bay still has a shot at the playoffs, so I will take Tampa Bay. Baltimore, Washington, tough game, but I will take the Baltimore Ravens on the road. Miami at San Francisco. I will take San Francisco. And Arizona at Seattle. Seattle's playing good. Seattle's really, really impressed me this year, but I will take the Seattle Seahawks to get it done. Remember to keep track of my picks, as I have now proved to an impressive 127, 62, and 1 with last week's record 10 and 6. So kind of a rough week last week, but still got a winning record. So still big try my picks. And until next time, I'm Eric Ducks saying I'm Ducks, and I know sports.